Have you always wanted to set up literacy centers in your elementary classroom, but the thought of it seems overwhelming or even daunting, and you've heard things like Daily 5, but you aren't quite sure what it means? You're in the perfect place today because I'm going to talk to you all about how to use the Daily 5 in your kindergarten, first, and second grade classroom and what the centers look like so you can start using them when we hit back to school time. Hey teacher friend, welcome back to my channel. I'm Molly and I'm a 5th grade teacher, but I've also taught kindergarten and 1st grade. And I want to dive into what Daily 5 looks like, whether you're teaching K-1 or 2, and how you can use it in your classroom this fall and have it seamlessly work so you can get to all of your reading groups. Like I mentioned before, I've taught kindergarten, 1st grade, and now 5th grade, and I'm headed into my 12th year as an elementary classroom, and Daily 5 has been my ride or die the entire time. And no matter what curriculum you're using, you can use Daily 5 because it is the structure of your literacy block, not the instruction. It's a framework is another way to think about it. So no matter what my whole group lesson is or my mini lesson for word study, I know that after we get done with those two things, we can dive into Daily 5 literacy centers. Of course, I have to give credit to the Daily 5 book. I am not the inventor of the Daily 5. It is a book I swear by. It is like my teacher Bible. It's an old copy at this point, but I still love and use it. And you can grab a copy too and use it when you go back to school. Even myself, I've used Daily 5 every single year. I thumb through, look at my notes, and when I'm introducing each new station, I go back and look at what they say to do as a refresher. So I've tweaked Daily 5 over time, and so what I like to share on this channel is tips and tricks that will make implementing Daily 5 easier for you in your classroom. There's some things about Daily 5 that are a little bit older and that I don't love as much, and I'll talk about that here today and what I do to adjust for that. But for the most part, it's such a solid framework that it works throughout anybody's literacy block if you just give it the time and patience that it deserves up front so that it can help you run your literacy block so smoothly for the rest of the year. So I knew I was onto something with helping other teachers with learning how to use the Daily 5 because I just started talking about what I was doing on TikTok and Instagram, and those videos started to blow up. People were asking really great questions. I was able to respond to as many questions as I possibly could, and I knew that I needed to elaborate more and have a space for that. And so sometimes my videos can't be as long over on social media, but you can follow me there because I am more frequently active than I am here on YouTube. My handle is the exact same, Literacy Fundamentals, so go over there, tell me you watched this video, and send me a message. How I introduce Daily 5 at the beginning of the year is we always start with Read to Self. The Daily 5 book will tell you this as well. Read to Self is a time where kids are learning how to sustain reading independently, and regardless if you're a kindergarten or 1st grade teacher, kids can do this. I've taught both of those grade levels in and out of title building, so I know that it could seem overwhelming at first, and how are kids supposed to read if they aren't actually reading words yet? So I made another YouTube video called 3 Ways to Read a Book. It's the introduction to Read to Self in the primary grades, and it really shows kids how to read a book. It's part of the Daily 5 book. So check that video out as well so that you can be prepared for teaching that essential skill at the beginning before you can launch into Read to Self. Next, I always talk about reading stamina. This is huge. We have to build that muscle and really pump our students up. So we want to get to the 15-minute mark and using a stamina building chart. So every day I will go in and we'll set a goal. Maybe the first day our goal is just a minute of sustained reading. If we make it to that goal, then we can of course go higher. By the end of that day, let's say we made it to 3 minutes, then we're going to chart on our stamina building chart that we made it to 3 minutes and set a goal for the next day. The kiddos like to see the progress that they've made, so I highly recommend having the chart. And of course, everything I'm talking about in this video will be linked down below. All of the resources I've created for my own classroom, I always share over on my Teachers Pay Teacher store. After you introduce Read to Self, you need to make sure you're at mastery level. We've hit the 15-minute mark. We are all doing it. We're all on the same page. Wink, wink. We can move on to work on writing. That's the next station I like to introduce. But with Daily 5, you can pick and choose what you think will work best for your classroom. I think starting with Read to Self is really important, but if you want to do a different station next, you can. I just think work on writing fits next really well after Read to Self. So try it out. Let me know what you think. You're gonna build your way up to the 15-minute mark. Again, I would have another stamina building chart that says work on writing. And I know our students aren't necessarily writers in the primary grades, but that could be drawing a picture, it could be labeling it could be practice writing their name. We are just building stamina to work on writing. This isn't your writing instruction time, that's going to be another time. And I'd also like to mention that any station I talk about today on this video, I mentioned read to self, now we're on work on writing. I have YouTube videos for every single station if you want to go back in and dive deeper onto what a particular station is all about. I also use writing prompts even in kindergarten, first and second grade. That keeps students on track. It gives them something that they can actually do. If they're a reluctant writer, which many of our writers are, they could start with drawing a picture, like I mentioned, and labeling it, but the prompts really outline for them something that they can write about that's not going to be stressful. Again, work on writing is not our writing instruction time, it's more of a creative writing time. Writing prompts were a game changer, and I will link below the writing prompts that I used when I taught kindergarten in first grade, and then I have them for second grade too. Next, I introduce listen to reading. This is a time where you have devices in your classroom, typically an iPad or some kind of a tablet. I have talked to other teachers who use Chromebooks. It's always listening to reading on something you approve of. So websites like Epic or Storyline Online, it's not a time to be looking at YouTube videos and that sort of thing. So what I like to do with listen to reading is have Apple Classroom pulled up on my teacher iPad, and I can monitor what people are doing while I'm pulling small groups. And I have very strict rules with this. And again, if you want to know all about listen to reading and how I make that work seamlessly so that kids are staying safe on technology, you can check out my listen to reading video. Next, I introduce word work, and this one will seem a little overwhelming at first, but remember, we're just getting down the habit. So even if it's just at the beginning, you have sorting cards, matching cards, you're just getting kids to work with words in a way that is sustainable before you're even introducing these word work lessons. And that might sound a little overwhelming, so don't let it freak you out. Just know that they're practicing doing this independently to build the stamina. It doesn't mean that they're fully spelling words yet or putting CVCE words together yet. I know in kindergarten we have to walk before we can run. First grade, a lot of times the same. Second grade, you might have a little bit quicker entry into word work because they've had some built up lessons from K-1, hopefully. Again, I have a video all about word work that you can check out. The fifth choice is read to someone. Now, if you've seen my video on read to someone, or sometimes called read to friend, I'm not a huge fan of this. It is one that you can do, and there's a whole lesson on it inside of the Daily 5 book where it teaches kids how to sit. You practice a ton. If you're going to do this one, you have to practice and build that stamina. It involves whisper talking and reading, and it's about peer modeling. So it does have some merits. However, I think sometimes the management piece of it can get a little bit much when you're pulling groups. I did have it work successfully when I taught a kindergarten first grade split, but that was the only time that I've really attempted it. So I don't want to speak for other teachers and say that it's not everyone's favorite. You might really enjoy it, so give it a try if you like it. It's another option for Daily 5. Last but not least, we have book clubs, and this is one that I get the most questions about over on Instagram and TikTok. I have 3 different book club videos. One of them is just all about book clubs, and then the other one talks about thematic planning and actually how to use a planner to plan out your book club. So check those out if you are like, I need to know more about book clubs. But what this time really is training your students to come back to your teacher table to get explicit instruction on something, whether it's a skill that they need, a book that you're reading together, or a standard that you need to go over, or something from the whole group lesson. That's up to you. That's what I love about Daily 5. It gives you full autonomy as the teacher to do what you see fit during that time. I hope you found this video helpful and that you're ready to start Daily 5 literacy stations this coming school year. Let me know what questions you have in the question box below. I love answering those. If you feel more comfortable over on Instagram or TikTok, do that too. I usually try to make video replies as quickly as I can. And coming up on July 17th, I have the Daily 5 workshop for grades kindergarten, first and second. That is going to be separate from third, fourth, and fifth. So 2 workshops coming up. You can check that out in the description box below. Save your seat right right now because I only teach it live once a year. And when you come to the live, you get to ask questions, and it's really an engaging time where teachers are just talking. I've taught it now, this is my 3rd year in a row, and it's my most popular workshop that I have. And because it's only once a year, this is the time to sign up for it. If you can't join us live, that's okay. No matter what, you'll get the replay as soon as it's over that day. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.